All right, so in this tutorial, we're going to look at how to create illustrated characters in PowerPoint. So the first tutorial, we're going to look at the curve tool, and the second tutorial, we'll look at how to work with the shapes. So the first thing with the curve tool is you go to the home, and there's your shapes option here, and there's a tool called curve, or a feature called curve. So we're going to go ahead and select that. And this is where you just got to practice using this, and the more you do it, it's the more intuitive it feels. And basically, you're just going to trace around an object. Doesn't have to be perfect, that's okay. But basically, the way it works is I'm going to click, and then when I drag it and click a second time, that creates a pivot point, and then you can see I can get a curvature on there based on how I'm moving that. And so I could go create really long lines, right? I can create short lines clicking. So a lot of things you can do with it. And it's just a matter of playing around with it. I'll show you something. Let's say you do something and it's not what you want in your drawing. See how this curve now is all messed up looking? If I hit the delete key, I can remove those points I just created and go back to a point. It's almost like unspooling some thread, right? So I can go back to a point where I can fix it. So that's the one tip. So practice using it. Use the delete key to remove points. Now what I'm actually going to draw here, the thing I want to do is make it easier to find or see the curve tool. So by default you might have a certain color. It might be blue or black. What I want to do is create a custom color default shape for my curves just while I'm doing my drawing, and so that's easier for me to see it. So what I might do is come up here, and I'm going to go to my shape outline, and what I'm going to do is just turn it into orange, and I'm going to change the points. Right now it's at 1 point. Let me change it to 3 points. So I said okay. The other thing is on the end point it's going to be flat. You could go with a round end, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and so this way it's a little more organic looking. It's not real cut off. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. Now I've got that set. What I want to do now is right click and then set this as a default shape, and I can delete this. Now I'll zoom in, which is the other secret to creating these things. So we're going to zoom in. We're just going to do her face for now, or just the basic shape of it. So zoom in. I've got her face here, and I'm going to go ahead and grab the curve tool, and I'm going to start drawing. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, and I'll show you why. Now some people may say, well, why are you using this curve tool? Can't you use just the scribble tool and do freeform drawing? And yeah, I can do that. Let's go ahead and move this over. This is the face I just created with the curve tool. Let's use the scribble tool. And the scribble tool is nice, right? Because I can quickly trace over something. We'll just pretend that this is good. All right. Now the difference is the curve is set up to have a curve, so it looks nice. The scribble tool, you can see every time I move the mouse to create that, I get a little pivot point. If I right click on this to edit points, you can see it created a whole bunch of points. That's going to be really hard to manage. What's nice about the curve tool is if I move this back in place, right, we'll assume that's the right spot. I can right click, I can edit my points, and now I can move those points around. So I can move them, change the curvature, I can fine tune it. Got these little anchor handles here, so I can change the curvature on that as well. And then the other thing is just move those into place and get a better look. So you can see how that works. The thing you can do is you can right click here or click on a point. Right click on the point, you can add or delete a point. You can see it's a smooth point. That's why it looks really nice on the curvature. So that's basically it. So you would use the curve tool. I like to kind of set some default coloring and shapes just so it's easier for me to see the curvature, and then I can change that later. And then you can always edit the points with the by right-clicking and choosing Edit Points. The other thing is while you're drawing, remember you can always delete a point by just hitting delete, and then you can continue drawing. In the next tutorial, we'll actually look at working with the shapes.